Hey everybody, Kevin Eikenberry here. I have the age-old question that's been asked to me. How do we get executive buy-in for leadership development initiatives? The ever-present executive buy-in question. I know that this could be being asked, how do I get executives to buy into what I want to do for me? But I'm guessing that more likely this is being asked organizationally. I'll give you some answers both ways, but I want you to really think about this as an influence question. So I'm going to give you some specifics to help you work on getting leadership buy-in, but then I'm going to hopefully help you look at this in a more broad way to think about influence. In fact, if you've been following along with this Encore series, you'll notice the common thread has been influence. All of the questions have really been about how do I get others to be influenced by me on these very specific things. So I'm going to give you some thoughts about executive buy-in today and go from there. Number one, do you know what their goals are? Those executives, what are their organizational goals? What are they worried about? What are they concerned about? What are their biggest challenges? You need to understand what their goals are. If you don't, getting in a conversation with them, finding a way to learn more about what their goals, what their worries, what their concerns are, what their biggest hot buttons are, what the things are that they're most wanting to work on right now. You need to know that, number one. The second thing you need to know is what is their mindset about leadership development. Let's start there. I have talked with senior executives who say, well, I didn't ever have much success. The way to learn to be a leader is by leading. If you know that that's where they're coming from, then that changes how you might approach these efforts. If they say, I've been to a lot of leadership training and very little of it was very successful, then you know something. But then you have a follow-up question which says, so which were the ones that were, so that you get a sense of what they believe to be what works. If you find out a little bit about where they were successful in learning their skills and building their skills and confidence as a leader, you'll get a sense about how you can connect what you want to do to their current belief system. Now, you have what you need to be able to start to have a chance to influence. You know what their goals are, and you know what they already believe, which may or may not be immediately helpful to you in promoting leadership development, but at least you know where they are. And you may find out that, man, they're all in for leadership development, but they haven't seen the connections to their goals or hot buttons. Or maybe they don't see how there's any way that leadership development will help them get to those hot buttons. So now here's the thing. Once you know what their goals are, you want to try to tie leadership development as being part of the solution to their problem. And if you can help them find the solution to their problem, then you are a rock star in their mind, right? So if you just go in trying to sell leadership development, or, oh, doesn't this big shiny thing look good, you have much less chance of success than if you tie all of it to the business objectives, but most especially to their specific challenges, their specific needs, and do that knowing what they already believe about leadership development. They might have some cynical beliefs. They might have some beliefs that are deeply held that will either help you, aid you, or not, but at least you'll know, and then you can make those decisions. So what you really want to do is create a conversation where you're on the same side of the table as them. You don't want them to see you as the person trying to sell them something, even if it's internally selling. You don't want that, because that's not putting you in the best position. Everyone, the old sales statement is, everyone likes to buy, no one wants to be sold. Listen, your executives want to solve those biggest problems. They want to achieve those biggest goals. If you can help them see how leadership development can tie to it, and you can show them a path and a way to measure that this will help get them there, you're going to get them on board. You want to be on the same side of the table as them, so you want to create a real conversation. We're asking questions from a business perspective and from a personal perspective to understand their perspective, okay? Now, the other thing that I want to say to you about this is the question was, how do I get executive buy-in, right? And the question is, who do you think of as an executive? First of all, I don't know who you are that's watching or listening. I don't know where you are in the organizational structure. Maybe you are right below the CEO and that's your target person. Maybe you're quite a ways down the process. And so my question would be, figure out who it is that you do need to influence. Is it the CEO that you need to influence? Is it the chief HR officer that you need to influence? Is it the head of learning and development? Or is it just someone above you? I would suggest the further down in the organization you are, you want to start having these conversations with as many people at whatever levels you need to upward. An executive at some level is someone above you. And so know who it is that you're trying to influence, be clear about that, and maybe start somewhere. If you're several steps below that ultimate decision maker, start creating more conversations with more of those folks and not just say, how do I actually get to the big kahuna? Don't worry about that so much as how can I start? Where are the influence points and how can I start to get to those influence points? Just keep working your way up, and because here's the thing, leadership development is important enough and timeless enough and a journey enough that it's worth taking some time to get there. Certainly you may want to get there quickly, and I would be right with you to help you do that, because I believe it isn't just important, it is urgent. And yet do that. Take the long view as you need to, right? And maybe when you understand those mindsets that they have, they're saying the ways that we've done it in the past hasn't given us results. So maybe you will get a clue that you need to show them something new. You need to show them a new way to develop leaders, or a new way to add to or augment what you're already doing, or the new way to be the what's next. You may find from them that they love what you've all done, and yet they know that more is needed, and you need to show them the what's next. You need to show them something new. You need to show them something that will get them a result that they haven't yet gotten, and that might be the remarkable way. If you want to learn more about the remarkable way, our approach, our way to help people and help leaders become the leaders they were born to be, one skill at a time, 1 month at a time, you can learn more about that by going to kevineikenberry.com/the-way. Hope you'll do that. And I'll be back with another episode, another answer to another question in this Encore series real soon.